What's happening, con folks out there? You are watching or listening to another episode of the Game and Watch podcast. This is episode number 114. Take two. Find us if you're screaming. You are currently muted.
Oh no,
But
no, I wasn't screaming, but
okay,
I am excited. I'm excited to
okay.
be here.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
He is Finest Dabs, aka RView Gaming, OVG himself. A very unique name, RView Gaming. You gotta remind the folks of what it means.
I mean, it's nothing special. I think the name just speaks for itself. It's my brand. It's what I kind of want to build my community around. It's just not my thoughts on gaming. It's our view. It's our thoughts. It's everyone's thoughts and opinions because there's no one right opinion in gaming. Everyone's right when they're speaking about their games because it's their own view. So our view gaming is just encompassing all of that and all of our ideas and thoughts and hopes for video games and the medium as a whole.
All right, yeah, that's a very good meeting, and I am the other half of the Game and Watch podcast, Justin Reed, aka Too Tall for You Fool, which means what it pretty much says. I'm too tall for you, fool.
A classic, a classic.
And it has absolutely nothing to do with video games, but just the alias I came with, the old AIM screen name I decided to run with, and then it eventually followed me into video games when I had a PS3 and I needed a PSN ID, and pretty much the rest was history.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, well, if you're watching, if you're listening, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. Happy New Year, January 2023. We didn't think episode 113 in November would be our last one of the year. If it was, we would have closed it for y'all on a better note saying Happy New Year on that. All right. Just keep in mind, thank you for watching or listening to the Game Watch podcast. For all those watching in, if you want to podcast the show, we are available on all listening platforms, wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you're listening and you want to see us, you can see us right here on YouTube, Twitch, or wherever you like to watch your content of not just us, but other content creators as well. If you are watching us live, we will read comments toward the end of the show. We will do our best to interact with you guys. And then we have a Patreon. More of that will be in the show notes. And lastly, any of our personal notes, if you want to follow our in particular brands, will be available in the show notes as well. So thank you for watching or listening to episode 114 of the Game and Watch podcast. So once again, happy. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe. I almost forgot that, but we're trying to do that more. We're trying to get better as podcasters, and we're learning something new every day. Yeah, definitely. So, with that being said, so much has gone on since we last seen each other. Well, last seen each other in the podcast ways. When we last saw each other, we were actually at a bar, but
Yeah, that's right.
But I mean,
I ate very well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ate very well that night, and yeah, hopefully, I think you're Applebee's lover. Hopefully, you go back there.
I do like the bees.
You do like the bees, all right? I
I
know it
do
gets
like
a
the
lot of
bees.
hate. I knew. I was a little worried at first that you weren't gonna like it because I'm like, oh, you never been here before, but
No,
hey,
I've been there
I'm
before. I just
okay.
haven't been there very often. I've been there
Okay,
a total of 3 times now. So
okay,
not
three
even
times.
not even a full hand's worth. I've been there
Okay.
3. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, so I'm like, hopefully he likes it, but it was the only place I was open when we were hanging out that night, so. Thank
Mhm.
God for the all-night happy hour over at Applebee's. Definitely check it out if you live here in the States. Applebee's,
Applebee's does not sponsor this episode.
but if you want to, we're available.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, otherwise, I guess let's start with you. Well, since we last were on the Game Watch podcast, where have you been?
Oh my gosh.
What
Episode
have you been playing?
113.
Yeah,
That's a great question.
yeah,
Let's see. So 113 was back in November.
yeah. Like right before
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
oh my gosh. That's so
Yeah.
long ago.
Yeah, it is
Um,
so long ago.
yeah, no, it's been not much of a ride in terms of gaming for me.
Oh, wow.
Um,
I'm sorry
one
to hear that. I'm sorry.
like when the moment the podcast kind of like fell off and we kind of took our hiatus, my gaming took a hiatus with that. Um,
I'm very
so
sorry, man.
no,
I feel
no,
bad.
it's totally fine. Let's see. So what was I doing in that time? I was playing a lot of Marvel Snap. That's the one game that I can definitely I've been talking about for like the last like 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah.
If you not heard prior to 2023. So yeah, I was playing a lot of Marvel Snap. I'm still playing it. I'm still playing it to this day. Every moment break. I'm actually playing during the episode right now. Just no, just joking. Um, but yeah, no, I was doing a lot of that in terms of like console gaming. I
Not so much.
I haven't done much. I've jumped on a handful of times. Okay, so part of that is because I was on the road for 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So
Tell him.
yeah, so for Christmas break, I took my laptop and started our vacation a little bit early. We hit the road, and I was working on the road for my laptop, and then I was visiting just everyone. I got to visit Too Tall for You Full. I got to visit the in-laws. I got to visit my immediate family, and just drove around. In that time, I played a shit ton of Marvel Snap because I don't have a Steam Deck, I don't have a Switch, and I'm not really big on mobile gaming in general. But that's what I was
Mhm.
playing for that 3 weeks. Um, I'm not like I don't know I'm not like crazy like some people, but in terms of like levels, there's like different types of levels and tiers. I'm at like 1400 for my overall level cap. And then in terms of level, it resets every season. So like the highest I've been is level like 70. And
Mhm.
then yeah, I have a good set of cards, but I'm pretty damn good at the game. So I'm pretty happy about that regardless. I guess with all the time that I've been playing, that should make sense. But I've probably put a total of I'd probably say 100 hours into that game just because well maybe not that long because it's like 5 minute spurts. Anyway,
Mhm.
so did that, got home, I turned on my Xbox Series X, I jumped into Game Pass, I looked it over, and I was like, "There's Vampire Survivor."
You finally
Everyone's
tried
talk,
that out.
everyone's talking about it. No, I downloaded it and I turned it off. Um, and then I turned on my PlayStation, and I was like, "Ooh, sales up to 75% off." I went through all those games, and I was like, "Okay, available through PlayStation Premium, or PlayStation." Is that what it's called? I forget. It's been a
Uh,
while. um,
There's PlayStation, the
PlayStation.
Essential, there's the
Yeah. Well,
premium and the extra. I think the premium you have is the premium is what you have.
okay.
It's
I have the highest tier.
yeah, you
I
have the
went on
premium.
that. Went through the sale. Nothing piqued my interest. Nothing was really available. So I kind of just went through that, and then I downloaded some stuff. I downloaded some updates for Destiny. I downloaded some updates for Genshin Impact, and a couple other updates. I jumped into what was that? Gosh, I can't remember the game right now. I jumped into one game. Anyway, short story, I haven't done much gaming.
Ah,
I've been on vacation from the podcast, from life in general, from my kids and no, like I've been
no.
with my kids and family, but yeah, I've been on vacation. How have you been doing the last month and a half?
All right. Well, I do have more games to share. Hopefully, I remember them all. But I mean, definitely, I guess we can. Well, I guess let's start with just Thanksgiving. And I told you this off air. Just if I've had better. The kiddo got sick, and
Mhm,
just pretty much we kind of just tag team visiting our individual families, and then I went to a friendsgiving. Christmas was cool. Went to two friends' misses, so that was fun. A neighborhood one, and then one we did with some other friends of ours. So that was pretty cool. Did a white elephant, did a Secret Santa. That was cool. Christmas Day was cool. We had the family over. First big party we've had in a while. Over that's like the second one, but it was good to just see all the relatives come in and everything. New Year's we just laid low, didn't do too much, just stayed in, and then the wife was out of town, so took some extended time off from work, so it was pretty cool. So I got the little R&R there, definitely, which we all deserve, every once in a
Yeah.
while. In terms of games I've been playing, I guess we can start with the Nintendo Switch. Haven't been really playing too much on there. Definitely, still going at it with Railgrade. I know
Nice.
you were asking me about some updates with it. The updates, I haven't really. I know some of them were just changes that they made, like names of like the stuff, like the plants and all that stuff. So, like instead of calling it a goods factory, they call it like appliance factory now or something like that. So just a little bit of that, and then there's also the big update with it, which is Millionaire Mode, which pretty much lets you play the game at your own pace now, not worrying about getting any vouchers for the game. So that was fun. And then anything else on the Switch that I'm playing? Oh, I finally downloaded Final Vendetta. It was a game we talked about last year sometime, based off the old arcade game, beat 'em up. I've uh, gotten a little bit into that, not too much. It's always fun if you're playing like some of these beat 'em ups with someone with you, but it's always fun to play by yourself. But it would be nice if they had online for some of these, and definitely some more beat 'em ups in 2023 that I'm eyeing. Xbox, I haven't really been playing too much on there. Vampire Survivors, that's really about it. And then I let my Game Pass expire.
It's okay. I
So
canceled mine.
yeah. I
I
just
was
let it. I canceled. I did the 2 months. Well, actually, this last month I was supposed to cancel also, but luckily I canceled it like right after the New Year, just a few days. It
yeah.
expired like on the 5th. So yeah. So I mean,
Mine
Vampire
kept on
Survivors.
auto renewing, and I was like, God, gosh damn it! I gotta turn this auto renew off.
Yeah. Yeah, well, actually, I gotta see what I gotta do for auto renew with GameStop because I think I said this on the podcast. Or maybe I put it in a Discord. I never want to shop there again, but yet it it was on auto renew, so I'm in another year of that what is it, pro rewards program.
Oh yeah,
So it's like, but
yeah.
yeah, so I got to figure that out. But yeah, so
Go to your
that
profile at GameStop.com.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I just had to do that. So next year, I know December, just make sure to cancel it, or I may even cancel it now and just take my credit card information off the website.
Mm.
But yeah, so uh, yeah, and that was pretty much the only game I played for that. And then let's see, for the PS5, got a couple games here with me.
Ooh, bring it.
Cowabunga Collection.
Mm-hmm.
We need to
Mm-hmm.
play, man. We need to play. Actually, that text message I sent you, I didn't send it to you yesterday. I sent it to you on Friday. I think it just didn't go through. I think you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was sent on Friday.
I don't even know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm
eh,
looking it up as we speak, live on the air. So
yeah,
exciting.
yeah.
Friday text message.
All right, so it did go through. Yeah, it was a.
No, no,
Yeah,
nothing went through Friday.
yeah.
I got Thursday. Is
It's
is it? Oh no, wait. Is it? It's raining out here. Was the last? That's the last one I got on Not the last one I got, but I got that on Thursday, and that was the last one on Thursday, and then I got one yesterday. So
yeah, yeah. That one you got yesterday was supposed to go to you Friday, but that's okay.
okay, okay.
Just letting you know that. I told you I bit the bullet with this Modern Warfare 2. It's been very
Mhm.
fun, and then I'm having a lot of fun with this game. Got banged for my buck with it. Need for Speed Unbound.
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah,
Nothing
it's
but yep.
yeah. I mean, despite the yeah, I guess we can talk about that first. Besides the crap ass backstory, which I'm not going to get into, very
Hmm.
fun. A lot more fun than Heat. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's definitely very entertaining, very intense. The cars, and it's just always something new to do every time. I mean, some of the races are a little repetitive, but hey, the big money you want to soup up your cars, update them, and everything. So, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun. Definitely worth the $40 I paid for it. I was
Yeah.
surprised it went on sale as soon as it did, and I was just like, "Yeah, I think I better jump on this." So,
Yeah,
and
no, the last time we talked, like, you didn't seem to, like, enthuse, like, you're like, "Oh, I'll pick it up eventually." So the fact that you have it now is a little surprising. I'm like, "Okay. Alright, I see what you're doing. I'm down with it."
$40. I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's not like it was like $70 or anything like that. And then also with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the Doing It Live crew, shout out to them.
Mhm, mhm.
It's always fun to play the multiplayer, just with a crew or anything like that. But even playing by myself, it's just been a lot of fun. So yeah, with Modern Warfare 2, I mean, definitely if you're in the first person shooters, I recommend it. Definitely better than Battlefield or Halo or anything out right now in terms of that. Maybe not Destiny. No, I'm just kidding. No. But I mean, if you like that sort of thing, I mean, I'm not disappointed, and you know me, I hardly ever play these FPS games, so it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely, I've been having a lot of fun with it, and just so we'll just see how far it goes with it until I get bored with it, and then we're seeing some screen little scenes of Need for Speed Unbound right now, and it's fun. I mean, despite the whole cartoony thing, kind of gives it a
yeah.
new look. I mean,
Oh, it definitely gives it a new look, yeah,
gives
but
it a
I don't
new
like
look.
it.
I
Yeah,
mean, I know people don't like it, but I mean, despite that, I mean, and the crap ass story, which again we're not going to talk about, it's fun.
okay.
It's fun.
The
The racing's
racing
fun.
the
Yeah,
racing's fun.
yeah.
That's
The
good.
gameplay is fun, and
Yeah,
I can definitely give it 2 thumbs up. It will not disappoint. And I know you love your racing games and you take them very
dude.
seriously. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, so yeah, I mean, I can honestly say I haven't been playing too much retro. I mean, I'm just looking around my whole gaming setup here. I haven't really played on the Super NT, the Genesis Mini 2. I haven't really touched. Obviously, the PS4 and PS3, I don't really touch too much. Yeah, yeah, I haven't really played too much, and then I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I did try out the Mario Kart, the new tracks, the new wave. So I did try that out. So yeah, just I'm kind of all over the place. I mean, haven't been doing the retro stuff as much, but that's okay. I mean, just whatever's fun.
Yeah, I didn't know we were sharing stuff. So, real quick before we move on, let me share a couple things.
Uh,
These aren't
so
these aren't video games, but it's what I got for Christmas. So,
I didn't get those for Christmas, but okay.
okay, whatever. Since the last time we had a podcast, okay.
Yeah.
So, my let's see. I'm trying to think what he is. My cousin Braxton on my wife's side drew me Mega Man. He's a
Oh,
fan.
oh,
He's a fan of the show. So shout outs to Braxton
Uncle
for
Finance.
for hooking me up. I guess that makes him my nephew. Is that right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm an extended uncle. That's right. That makes more sense. Sorry,
Or
I didn't.
uncle-in-law. I don't know.
Yeah, uncle. I don't know what that is. Sorry, Braxton, that I didn't know what you were, but thank you for this awesome Mega Man picture. The fact that you listen to the show and you are like 8 years old. I don't even know how old you are, but the fact that you watch a show and you drew this for me, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Just a quick shout out there, and then I'm gonna reach back here and grab this real quick just because it's awesome.
Mhm.
Actually, I'll start right here. So I've been on a Transformers kick, collecting, buying Transformers.
Oh,
So I
wow.
got
You got that. Oh,
I got
wow.
I got Coronation Starscream right here. He's
Yeah, I
still in the
remember you telling me
box.
that.
Yeah, yep. So I got that right there, and then I got a couple other Transformers. Let's see. Hold
BigBadToys.com, right?
that
Or
not that one. I got
oh,
the one from Big Bad Toys is right here. Hold on, grab that right there.
mm.
This box is a little bit bigger, so
Oof.
yeah.
Bumblebee.
No,
Or no, Soundwave.
yeah, Soundwave right here. This is the Shattered Glass Soundwave. So this is where he has the Ninja Turtle headband, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, and
Yeah,
he's
Soundwave is one of his favorite Decepticons. Well, actually favorite
yes,
Transformers, not just
yeah,
Decepticon.
yeah, both. Okay, and I got two more Transformers, and I'm done. Oh
No,
wait,
you're
and
no
my
shirt.
let's see. And And then my nephew got me this. This is not a
Oh,
Transformer, but he got me a Dragon Ball poster, and it's framed. So
mm,
that was very nice of him. Oh, and let's see. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, and then here goes Hound.
Hound.
Yeah,
Can't go wrong with Hound.
no, he is the Jeep Transformer, and this is just such a detailed version of him. Like, I wish I can get this, but like a little bit bigger. Like, this
Mm,
one's kind of tiny, but it's still awesome. And then let's see, this is Springer. This is Springer from the
Springer.
Transformers movie.
Yeah, I remember
And
Springer.
yeah, he was my favorite besides Hot Rod in the movie, because he was like the first triple changer Transformer that I can remember besides Astro Train.
Astral
Um,
Train and Blitzwing was also a triple
oh,
changer in general.
Blitzwing was that. That's
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, Blitzwing would be awesome Transformer to have too. I think he actually. I think they just released him this year, so
Blitzwing.
maybe
Yeah,
I will pick him up because he
yeah, keep us
transformed
updated
into
with
a
that.
yeah.
But I think Springer was the first of the Autobot triple changers. I'd have to double check that, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
just. But I know for the Decepticons, Astral Train and Blitzwing were the other
Yeah.
two.
Decepticons always got like all the good stuff. Like they
Yeah,
got
hell
like
yeah! Like Decepticons were always like one and up the Autobots. Autobots, all they
yeah,
could do was drive. Like the only cool one was like that could fly was like Jetfire or Skyfire, and then
yeah,
Power Glide came around later on. So it's
yeah.
like,
And Jetfire was originally a Decepticon too. Like it's so
yeah,
crazy. Like,
like,
you know, just it's all good. It's all good.
yeah.
But yeah, I've been on a Transformers. I actually have another one in the car right now. It's in an Amazon box. It's another. It's another hot rod. I have two hot rods. So
Yeah, you
yeah.
gotta let us know when you get to triple changers. And I guess for me in toys, I mean, I'll let you know when I get to. There's a one Funko Pop I do want to get that's in my Amazon cart, and then
Mhm.
I was talking about this with you when we actually went out. I want to get the Zord, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Zord. So yeah, I
I was
saw that
looking.
you were looking at it.
I was looking at one today.
Yeah,
The Megazord.
yeah,
It's
Megazord.
a
Yeah.
but it was another like it was like a I don't know how to say it. It was like a custom version of the Megazord. It
Mhm.
was the dopest Megazord that I've ever seen.
Oh,
Honestly, the dope. I don't even. It wasn't the metal one that I told you, the diecast metal one, but
uh-huh.
it was honestly the most beautiful Megazord that I've ever seen. The only thing with it was, it's huge. It's bigger than Soundwave. I don't know exactly how big it is, but it's pretty big. It's pretty detailed, and it costs $450. Um,
The one I was looking at was like 160, which was on BigBadToys.com or BigBadToyStore.com. One of yeah, that's the website you told me about. I found it, but I mean, we'll see. Definitely. I mean, you know me and Power Rangers, so I mean
yeah.
that'd be the next one. And since I got rid of my letter sealer, I gave it up for a white elephant guy. So sorry, Power Ranger fans, but
Yep.
I will hopefully get one before the end of the year. All right, but
Anyway,
definitely,
yeah, we've been talking about everything but video games for like
mm,
15-20 minutes, but
yeah,
thank
same
you for
niche, same audience.
oh well, first episode back.
Yeah, share
Yep.
time, definitely. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. All right, so let's so this is gonna be kind of just like a little bit of a review of some of the bigger events that have happened since we've been out. So we're not going like off a weekly thing, and with it being the first episode of the year, the main topics is just really going to be our predictions for 2023 for Sony, Microsoft, the Nintendo, Steam, and anything miscellaneous that we may think happened. But first, let's do a quick review of the Game Awards, and it was just about as everything as I would expect. Let's see. Just I don't want to read through all the winners here, but best audio design, God of War Ragnarok. Best art
Mhm.
direction, Elden Ring. Best role playing game, Elden Ring. Best score and music, God of War Ragnarok. Best narrative, God of War Ragnarok. Best action adventure, God of War Ragnarok. Innovation and accessibility, God of War Ragnarok. Best game direction, Elden Ring. Game of the year, Elden Ring. You see where I'm going with this?
I do. But I mean, there's definitely some in betweens here that I
Yeah.
definitely want to that we should definitely highlight. And there's one big one that I just raise an eyebrow about, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
All right.
why?
I think I know which one you're like, what the fuck, but which one do you want to recognize first before we go to the what the fuck one?
Okay, so best multiplayer, Splatoon 3
All right.
is
That's
definitely one of them.
well deserved. That's a good one.
Yes, and then this is a twofer: best independent game and best debut game, Stray.
Yeah.
Look it. It was there was a tough choice this year,
Yeah.
but overall, like Stray won it out. So I'm not gonna hate on Stray. Stray got it. Stray was a okay game. Um,
I didn't finish it, but I
yeah,
mean, I know people did love it, so I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it did get nominated for Game of the Year, but
yeah. Thank God
I
it
don't
didn't
know.
win that. I would have been
Yeah,
so pissed.
yeah. Then I was hoping Elden Ring or God of War would have taken those two, but
Hmm. Hmm. Last two. Before my WTF.
mhm.
Let's see. Best action game, Bayonetta 3.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I can agree with that. I didn't think it was going to win Best Action Game, but I
Mhm.
mean, it definitely deserves it. I mean, it was a good game.
I
Uh,
totally agree. Yeah, I think it was a pretty good game too. And then my last one was best strategy game, Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope for best strategy game. So,
yeah.
yep.
I guess for me, before we go to your what the fuck moment, is most anticipated game, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Are you ready? Of course.
Yep. Always ready. Yeah,
And
no,
then
that was a good one.
I'm not sure if this is your what the fuck one, but I figured I'd just highlight it. Best sports racing game, Gran Turismo 7.
No, that wasn't it. I
All
think
right.
for last year, I think Gran Turismo should have. I think it deserved it. Unless you thought differently. Like what game would you would
Mm,
have put there?
in terms of sports, I mean, NBA 2K always puts a good game on. Let's see.
But it's sports slash racing.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. I would rather
Yeah.
just have it be its own two categories. I
Yeah.
don't
Same
know.
here. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're on the same. I know. I think it was too late for Need for Speed Unbound to win it
It
in terms of
was.
racing.
Mhm.
So I mean, can't give it to that one. And then WWE 2K22. I mean, I know I'm biased here, but it was a step in the right direction. But I mean, I'm not sure if you'd put that in fighting or sports or fake
Um,
sports.
I honestly I think it could go in either.
Hmm.
I would be
It was a
totally
good
down with
game.
that.
It was a good game. So
Yeah.
I think that should have got a little bit more recognition. But I mean, some other games did. I mean, at least they were nominated, like Sonic Frontiers, Shredder's
Hmm.
Revenge. At least some of these games were nominated that I played. So I'm not way off the mark here with some of these. All
Yeah.
right.
And before I get to the WTF, I of course there's best mobile also, which is Marvel Snap. So
Of course. Of
just
course.
how could I not name that one? No, but it was for actually the game that got best fighting game.
Oh, you did not agree with that one?
How could I? How could I agree that Kirby and the Forgotten Land gets best fighting game?
That has to be a typo.
Is that a typo? Please tell me that's a typo.
Maybe I can go to another source, see if it's a typo or not. But but yeah, I hope it wasn't a fighting game. Best fighting game. Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna Google it right now. All right, so it is saying who won best fighting
Oh,
game.
it is a typo. Okay, thank
Yeah,
gosh.
Multiverses. Yeah, Multiverses won.
Okay. Woo.
Phew. All right.
Oh my gosh.
No, no, no. Kirby won. Yeah, that is a typo. I believe Kirby won best family game. I want to say it
Okay.
takes two. Yeah, it takes two shouldn't be here. So whoever put this list together, Tom's
Did a
guide.
horrible job. Horrible job.
Last time we
How
used Tom's guide.
how hard is it to put a fucking list together? Gosh. Gosh.
Yeah,
Ah!
that was actually a good catch though. I mean, like,
Oh god. I was like, did I miss something at the Game Awards? Kirby? Like, why did Kirby? But I mean, Stray was in Game of the Year, so I didn't doubt it. I was like, okay. I was like, they've gone off the rails. Okay. So multiverses was so good. I can totally I can get down with that. I played that game a
yeah,
lot this year.
it was a good fighting game. I don't really play fighting games like I should, but it was a good one. So,
Yeah.
any thoughts on just what else happened in terms of like announcements or anything like that? And then surprise at the end of the show.
I mean, Al
That was
Pacino was
funny.
there.
Yeah, Al
That was pretty
Pacino,
that was pretty crazy.
and then old actor that won, that played was his speech from God of War Ragnarok. What was his name?
Oh,
Yeah,
I forget his name, but yeah, his
yeah.
speech was oh my god, he would not shut up.
I luckily I was watching it on replay because I had to do
Yeah.
something earlier that day, so I couldn't watch it live. So luckily, I was just able to fast forward through some of that. Like this guy, just like
Yeah. He was man, he just went on forever. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Cool." Like they played the music and then he just like kept on going. And I'm just like, "Oh, wow." Like he's
he's
like
not finished.
yeah, he's just the music is going and trying to get him off and he just kept on going. So that was kind of funny.
I think he
But
did
yeah,
that. I think he does
it
that shit
was
on purpose. He has to do it on
It was
purpose.
Christopher Judge. Yeah.
Christopher Judge, yeah. Congratulations to him. Yeah, definitely. So, and then yeah, next year, I mean, we'll see the Game Awards again. Hopefully, we can do like a live stream this time. I know we all were busy. I had something to do that day personally. I mean, I
It
really
was
wanted to stream
long.
it.
Yeah, I didn't
It
I'm glad
was
we
long
didn't
though.
stream it. Yeah. I didn't even I
Yeah,
was like, "Oh god." Like I turned it on and I had it going. I just like stopped watching and just had it on. And I was like, "I'm so glad we didn't stream this."
yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of glad we didn't too. Yeah, I heard they were trying to make it shorter than they did the previous year, but it's like
Mhm.
I don't know how you make an award show like that short.
Yeah.
So so I mean, just a little bit of feedback. I mean, the announcements were like, yeah. I mean, I know you're excited about some with Hades, and
Oh, I the announcements were bangers to me. Like
yeah, me it didn't
I
really do too much for me, but I know Hades and Dead Cells. I know you're excited about those, man.
dude, a Castlevania Dead Cells crossover. Like, that is so epic, and the fact that
Yeah.
they announced, Supergiant announced Dead Cells too. I was watching Kinda Funny Games, and
Uh,
they said, like I believe they said Hades too. 'Cause they're oh, no, they said, like, Supergiant announces their next game, because like, they're like Supergiant's always announce, like, their games, and there's, like, it's been a few years since Hades, and they announced that, and I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Yeah, I could see that. That's, yeah, okay." I didn't think it was gonna happen, and then it happened, and I was like, "Oh my god." And then Supergiant, like, they've never made a sequel before. They made, like, Pyre, and they made, Transistor, and they made Bastion, but they never done a sequel before. So the fact that they did a sequel to Hades, I was like, "Wow. Wow." I was yeah, I'm happy. I'm pretty freaking happy about that.
I know you were happy. I was definitely thinking of you when both those like Finance is gonna love this. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right, so enough with the Game Awards. Congratulations to all the winners, even from the esports categories as well. That we don't really follow that much, but yeah, just congratulations to everybody. Hopefully, we have a good award show next year with with 20. Well, I guess this year with with
Mhm.
2023. But this year is going to be some good bangers, and I can't wait to
Uh,
talk about each of them. But let's move on to Sony and January 2023 PlayStation Plus monthly games. Three games that they have this month: Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Fallout 76, and then Axiom Verge 2. I've already put Axiom Verge 2 in my library. I just need to finish the first one now. But
yeah.
any recommendations here with these listed three games, F?
Yeah, just, I would say the new Star Wars I mean, I would say Star Wars, Fallen Order, only because the new Star Wars, they like was did they announce it at Game Awards? No, or did they just announce it recently? Anyway, they announced the follow-up to this game right here. So I would say like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, it came out kind of janky when it first released, but now it's dirt cheap for one, and it's a pretty fun game. So if you're looking for like a single player Star Wars game, original story, it does pretty well. It hits on pretty much all cylinders. But the next one, the sequel, looks like a banger. Like this one, I bought it and I played it for like a cool like 5 minutes, and I was like, oh okay, cool. But when I saw the sequel, I was like, damn. I was like, okay, I need to finish this one so I can play the sequel because it looks good. It looks real
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I mean, Jedi Fallen Order. I mean, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but I will say this: their games,
Mhm.
they bring it. Uh, EA has not been disappointing with these games. I feel, and this is from even the Battlefront games also. So I mean, yeah, Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. So I mean, if you have PlayStation Plus, then definitely check it out. And then Fallout 76, yay or nay to the people. I guess you can give it a
Fall
try.
yeah, Fallout 76 is a piece of junk, but it's a piece of junk that they keep on updating.
Yeah, yeah, they keep
So I
bringing updates
mean,
to it.
yeah, I mean, if you were ever into Fallout, like, I think this is a better time than any to jump into to Fallout 76. But yeah, I don't know. I would not recommend it. Like I was watching it the other day on PlayStation 5, and it looked like one of the worst things I've ever seen. It was pretty bad. So I mean, there's gameplay on the screen right now for it.
Mm.
So I mean, yeah. The
You can play,
community
you can play
though,
better. You can play better games than this, but yeah,
yeah.
community. What were you
The
saying?
the community is hardcore about it though. Like the people that
Yeah.
are in there have been playing for
Mhm.
years, and yeah, they seem like they have fun, and that's all it's about. So despite
Yeah.
the jank, yeah,
That's with
play
any
it.
games. I mean, regardless of how bad it is, as long as you're having fun with it, I mean, that's all that really matters, right?
Yeah. And it's not, I don't even know what the goal of the game is anymore, because the goal used to be to find the codes to nuke the planet, and then people would just like found like holes and loopholes and all this stuff, and they like nuke the hell out of the planet. Like I swear, like they had to reset the game, like just because people were just nuking the planet like crazy, and it made it like the game unplayable.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, there goes Axiom Verge. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this. I hear they made improvements from the first one, so like I said, I just need to finish the first one.
Yeah, Axiom Verge is, from what I hear, a great game. I
Yeah,
have not played it. The first one I heard rave reviews about. Number two,
yeah,
I didn't
mhm,
hear I didn't hear much about. It just kind of fell wayside. It like
yeah,
came out, and it came out just like, and made
yeah,
really no sounds.
yeah.
Like
It didn't make any noise, but I mean, the first
yeah,
one's a great game. But I mean, I definitely do want to finish the first one. I have the first one on Switch, so yeah, I definitely do want to try that one. But yeah, those are your three games, and not a bad lineup to start out the year for PlayStation. So
no, no,
gotta
not
give
too
it to
bad at
them.
all. Yeah,
Now, eh, all right, now Xbox on the other hand, they seem to be like all over the place. The company that always is announcing games like every other week for their Game Pass. Let's start. Well, I guess we can start with the games for gold. Um, let's see if I can find a link here. All right, here we are. Games with gold. Free for January 2023. We have Iris Fall, which is a puzzle game that rely on a light and shadow system. Players follow a girl named Iris as she follows a black cat, leading to mysteries and more. Game features a unique monochrome art style and a gothic atmosphere. And then Autonauts is a crafting and building game. So yeah, I've never heard of those two games.
yeah,
quite
yeah.
quite frankly, at least for the games with gold. But um, so I mean, anyone that still cares about games with gold, there you go. Iris Fall, Autonauts. And then coming soon to Game Pass, we got Stranded Deep, and we also have. I was going to read it off the screen if you just want to zoom it in a little closer, if you can.
I don't even know if I can, but
All right. Well,
yeah, I can do this.
all right.
That's it. That's all I got.
That's all you got. That's all you got. Well, all right. So I mean, they got quite a bit of games coming for the Game Pass, but they got also games that are leaving the service this month on January 15th, and they are the following: Danganronpa, Trigger
Yep.
Happy Havoc Anniversary Edition, Nobody Saves the World, Paparazzi, the Anna Crucis, and Windjammers 2. Those 5 games are all leaving. Any of these games that someone should try to play before they leave for good? In terms,
Yeah, play all the Persona games. I mean,
yeah,
if you didn't have a PlayStation or you just been waiting on these games to come from Game Pass, whatever the reason may be, like all these Persona games are fire. So I would definitely say make it a priority to play them. Um, Other than that, no, I don't know if there's really anything else. I would say, yeah,
yeah. I know for me, I mean, I'm good with Game Pass right now. I don't really see them coming out with anything I really want to play. I mean, Vampire Survivors is only $5. Eventually, when I want to play that again, I will just spend the $5 and buy it. But
yeah,
I mean, it's a fun game though. Vampire Survivors, and just a lot of good stuff in there. But just nothing right now that I really want to play. I mean, I could definitely recommend it for Forza Horizon
yeah.
5, that, and 4 for those that like the old one. So, but coming this year, I mean, Monster Hunter Rise. So, I mean, for those of you Xbox fans that don't have a Switch or PlayStation, Monster Hunter, that's a good
Yeah,
series of games. So,
Monster Hunter Rise is I've heard great things about. So, and you can get dogs in it, which is kind of cool since calicos were or not calicos. I forget what those damn cats are named. Anyway, yeah, you can get dogs now. So and ride them. You could ride them too. So yeah, Monster Hunter Rise, cool.
all right. So, that being said, let's flip the script and go to Nintendo. And I feel like they've been rather quiet um, with their whole just what they've been doing in terms of their online. I mean, if you've been keeping up with them, they did put out the Mario Kart wave of courses. So, I mean, I played all 8 of those courses, and it's very good. So that definitely we'll do that. Um, but they do have 4 games for the expansion online, at least for the Genesis.
Okay.
Sorry, N64 fan. Golden Eye's not here yet, but it's not on Game Pass either, at least not yet. We'll talk more about that later. But the 4 games are Alien Storm, Columns, which you could barely see, and then Golden Axe 2 and Virtual Fighter 2, which is also on their. Well, I know for a fact that game's on their Genesis 2 mini. So, you ever play any of these 4 games back in the day? I know you
Yeah,
played Columns. Columns.
I have no idea what columns is.
Oh, you gotta play Columns is a great puzzle. If you love Tetris, you'll maybe not love Columns. It's a good game, but
I are you being facetious or are you being serious right now?
it's a good game. It's a good
Okay.
puzzle game.
Okay. Well, despite columns, I don't know what it is. I have to look it up right now. But anyway, I played Virtual Fighter. I've been a long time fan of Virtual Fighter. So I remember playing Virtual Fighter in the arcades all the time. And then I remember just when PlayStation 3 came out and it was Virtual Fighter 4, I believe, if I can remember correctly. I picked that up and I was yeah, I loved it. It was a good time. And other than Virtual Fighter, um Golden Axe. Yeah, Golden Axe in the arcade though.
Oh yeah,
I never played it on the Genesis, so
Golden Axe
if it
too. Yeah,
yeah, if it's anything like that, then Golden Axe is it's one of gaming's like pinnacle games. Like it's one of those games that people just like when they think of the Genesis, they think of Golden Axe. So definitely one I would recommend.
yeah. So definitely, yeah. I'll definitely, if you love puzzle games, definitely check out Columns. I don't have too much experience with Alien Storm, Virtual Fighter 2. Virtual Fighter, the whole series. Can't go wrong with that if you love fighting games. And then Golden Axe, that was a classic on the Genesis. So Golden Axe 2, why not? So I mean, at least they're putting out quality games, at least for the Genesis side. Unlike the Super Nintendo, where it's like, let's not even talk about the last games we got there. So I figured, we talk about a little bit about what's been going on with the online services for Sony, Xbox, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. They're each of their online services. So, all right. With that being said, we got. I was a bit happy when I heard about this game coming out this year. I mean, I know we have a lot of premieres coming, but this was finally announced for consoles. Well, at least two consoles: the Nintendo Switch and the PS4/PS5. The Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster games are coming to the Switch and PS4. You can get Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, 4, 5, 6. They're finally coming to consoles again. But I mean, so pretty much if you want the whole thing, the bundle of games, it's going to cost $74.99. They are selling a physical anniversary edition. I went to their website to try to buy it, and it was sold out.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I believe if you do want the games individually, I think believe $11.99 for Final Fantasy 1 and 2, and then $17.99 for Final Fantasy 3 through 6, and that's each. That's if you want to buy the games by themselves.
Right.
So yeah, six of these pixel remaster games. I don't care what anyone says, like in terms of the animation. I mean, I just want to play these games again, and
Yeah. And
these
do it
are
in the
fun.
best way possible. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, were you gonna look into any of these games? Buy them all, buy one or two, or
No, I'll
what are
be
you
picking up
thinking?
the collection. I
Okay.
just yeah, like I was very disappointed in Square when I found out like, oh, it's on Switch and it's on mobile and it's nowhere else.
No, Steam and mobile.
Steam. Oh, it's
Steam
on
and
Steam. Okay.
Steam and mobile originally. Yeah,
Steam
it's
and
coming to the
mobile.
Switch and the PS4. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um yeah, I don't know. I was just like
Yeah, I was a little
I
disappointed too.
yeah, I was like, what is Square thinking? Like not releasing this like anywhere else.
Yeah, that was a big loss when they announced that. Like, really, like, because I remember the E3 or whatever. Yeah, the E3 that they announced it or whatever it was. But yeah, left a lot of bad taste in people's mouths. But I mean, people console side can get it now. At this time, there's no announcement for if it's going to come to the Xbox One or the
Probably not.
series. For yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think so either. But I'm just being real.
Yeah.
But I mean, hopefully, I mean, if you do, I mean, this game is available on Steam PC. I mean, I've been, I mean, I know I have a gaming PC, but I just like console gaming. I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
But it's coming. It's gonna be coming sometime this year, I believe. The release date is going to be, I want to say sometime in April, sometime in the
Okay.
spring. So yeah, so we will be seeing it sooner rather. Oh yeah, it's going to be in the summer. No, wait, no, not the summer. Yeah, spring 2023. So yeah, so we'll
Yeah.
be looking for a date. So, but yeah, it's going to be a good time. I've yet to play the original Final Fantasy, and then I had 3 on my DS. I just need to see if I could still find it. 6, which was 3 on the Super Nintendo, is a classic. Same thing with 4. Which was 2 on the Super Nintendo Classic. I played 5 on the PlayStation. I never beat it though, and then yeah, the first and second ones I never played. So
Yeah. I I used to avoid like, I didn't know what Final Fantasy was, like, back in the day, and I used to avoid them like the plague. Like, I used to
Are you
go into
serious?
Blockbuster. Yeah. I go into a Blockbuster and I was like, "What is this?" Because the covers, like, if you look at, like, Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, like, their covers did not tell you like, it was like, they didn't tell you what the game was about, and that was the
Mm,
only way I was gonna, like, pick up the game. Like, it did not show you, like, even a glimpse of, like, really what the game was, and you look at the back of the game, and then you see, like, these, like, little sprites, these, like, little tiny sprites, and you're just like, "I don't know what this is." It's not a fighting game, it's not a racing game. Um, you know, I was not into Zelda back then, so, like, even, like, thinking about, like, "Oh, is it like Zelda?" No. Like,
no, it wasn't like Zelda.
yeah, like, but it was a tough game for me to understand so many years ago, and
Yeah.
then it wasn't until Final Fantasy 7 that I was like, "I need to try this." And then once I tried 7, I was like, "This is amazing."
So you went
And,
back to your Super Nintendo and tried 6 and
uh
2
and
and
then
4?
yeah, and then yeah, the order always confuses me. But yes, I tried 4, and then I played, I don't know. I played a little bit of, I want to say, 2, and then that was it. And then I don't think I played any of the other ones.
And
Um,
that's 2 on the Super Nintendo, which was 4 here, so
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, it was very strange. It was just like, and I didn't it's not that didn't enjoy it, but by that time, like, I experienced, like RPGs that were just, like, a little bit more advanced and
Mhm.
a little bit different. I was into RPGs by that time, but,
Yeah.
by the time I played 7, but the RPGs were very different from the RPGs that pre-existed, like, all these Final Fantasies. Like, I was playing Xenogears, and I was playing Grandia, and I was playing, what else was I playing? Um, Wild Arms I was playing, and, yeah, I was playing all these other RPGs that were very, very different. So I wasn't, like, really gun ho on going back and trying these, but now I am.
Yeah, I think for me, uh, freshman year of high school is when I tried my first Final Fantasy game, and, it was, what, 1999, 2000, so it was like we're already into, like, almost the end of the N64, and it's just like it was just weird going back to me playing on the Super Nintendo again, Final Fantasy 3 or 6. But then Nintendo confused us with that order number, but yeah. So that was the first one I played, and then I also came across 2 for the Super Nintendo a little later on. So I mean, it's proof that I definitely got life out of my Super Nintendo after its heyday. I wish I started collecting for it a lot sooner rather than later, but it yeah, I mean it was a good game. Um, I forget how far I got into, but 3 or 6, I got to the final end of it. I could never beat it. I mean, I would love to beat it this time. So that might be the first one I play. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But I do want to give these games another try. And then Final Fantasy 3, I had on my Nintendo DS. So, and then I believe again, I think I made it in. I just never beat it. So, and it was a nice remaster they did for the Nintendo on the Nintendo DS as well. So uh, it was those were some good games. So um, we will definitely see what they do. Anyway, let's keep moving. Um, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Last year was the year of the turtles. I guess we will start with the Cowabunga collection. But updates are available for both Cowabunga Collection and Shredder's Revenge. So we will start with the Cowabunga collection. I guess first things first. Um, TMNT 4 Turtles in Time for SNES. You can now play online. I think that's the biggest news out of here. And then they also plan on adding one of the NES games to play online later on in a future update, which would be the Manhattan Project. So, and that's a very underrated game in my opinion, and not a lot. I know I didn't play it. I don't think a lot of people played it because it came out in '92, which I mean, me personally, I already had the Super NES, so my parents were buying it for me. So that is the main thing, and then just a bunch of other changes in terms of like with the games. Like they fixed like some of the stuff in the Turtles layer, and I'll just read through some of these. The home menu icon changed to the box art for the Nintendo Switch, so it's not the four turtles; it's actual box art cover for those of you Switch fans out there. PS4 arcade controller is now supported. PS4 joystick support has been implemented in the PS5 as well. Let's see, another one. A new enhancement added to Team and T Tournament Fighters group mode can now be enabled. And there's just a lot of stuff here that you could do. So, Game Boy games added a Game Boy Color mode on and off. You can add the color palettes like you could on the Super Game Boy for the Super NES. And then issues that were fixed. German translation for Punch Repeatedly on the strategy guide. Let's see. On page 5 of the strategy guide for Turtles in Time on the SNES, Turtle Tip screenshot, has been replaced. Enhancement now works for after settings in options for Turtles in Time SNES. And then Turtles in Time SNES manual in the museum now includes missing pages 18 and 19. So looks like they got a lot of stuff right. I know there is a video out there if you guys want to see all the patches that they did. But yeah, like I said, the big news here, Turtles in Time, SNES, and it's playable online now. In terms of fixing the online, I don't think they did much with it. They just it's peer to peer. Unfortunately, they don't have a main server, so it really depends on your internet connection. If you're playing with someone who has bad internet, it's probably going to be bad. So I would just say if you are going to play with people, just make sure you know who you're playing with. Just try not to play with any randoms. I would say, but should be good. Any thoughts on these updates for the Cowabunga collection? I think you're muted, sir. I can't hear you.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Thank you for pointing that out. Otherwise, I would have talked forever, and no one would have heard me, and people would have probably preferred that. Anyway, let's see. No, there's definitely some good updates here. Let's see. I would say just the updates of like controllers, like the fact that you can play like the PS4 arcade controller is awesome, and it's also on the PlayStation 5 you can use your arcade controller. And then the Xbox arcade stick is also supported. Just small things like that, just those small things make this so much better. And then other than that, there was a ton of updates to Turtles in Time specifically.
Yeah, Turtles in Time, they
um
made a lot of changes to that.
yeah, so and I think that's the reason being is because that's the most popular game. That's the
Yeah,
game that
they had to make that online. I don't Yeah, people were complaining, like,
yeah, it was just weird, especially when you had,
the
Shredder's Revenge
Hyperstone
out.
and the Hyperstone heist and
Yeah,
online, like,
and then I would say just speaking to the Hyperstone Heist, for that game, Turtles in Time, and let's see, was there another game? That may be it. Oh,
mm,
just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just their arcade edition.
the arcade game.
Yeah, their arcade game. They added an action button to all three of those games, so you can kind of assign your buttons now. You could
Yeah.
like you could assign a special attack or whatever you want to that to the button, the special
Mhm.
button, whether it's attack or jump or something to that regard. So that's that makes it so much easier. Just the all kind of all in one button that kind of does everything. So yeah, they've made a ton of great changes. I also think the Game Boy Color palette changes are awesome, especially for people that are colorblind.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was a little. I haven't really played the Game Boy games, but I was
yeah,
kind of shocked to know that they didn't have that feature, especially like with Super Game Boy and all that stuff. So
with
I was
old
very
Game
happy.
Boys.
Well, no. I mean, this old Super Game
Oh,
Boy for the Super Nintendo.
got you. Yeah,
Yeah. So I was a little surprised with that one, but yeah. Um, but yeah, they did a good job here. Hopefully, the Manhattan Project, that's going to be awesome when that's online. Hopefully, they do Turtles 2, the arcade game. That was my favorite game out of all this whole collection. So
hmm
yeah, hopefully they do that one. We'll
yeah.
stay on Turtles for a minute though. Shredder's Revenge, they also did a patch update. They have a new arcade mode, pretty much like if you use a super now, you can make it that you lose life. You can also have, unlimited plays now, so you don't got to worry about lives anymore or anything like that if you want to do that. Um, it fixed one thing though. Speaking of supers, you can taunt, you'll get your first super, that's it. You can't cheese it anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they had to change that, but which is fine. And then they also did a couple other things too. So a couple updates. CRT mode, normal or curved, and VCR mode as well in the options menu if you want to play it that way. If you really want to get that whole retro feel, um, it's really good. Um, I mean, I really love this game. I still play it from time to time, and just I gotta ask, Finest, when are we having Turtles Night?
I mean, I just need the invite. That's all
Uh,
I really need, you know. So give me the invite yeah,
we'll
I'll
make
be
it
there.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
Turtles Night. We can play Turtles in Time. We can play Shredder's Revenge. See which one's better. Well, I know which one's better, but but it is what it is. But they did a lot of updates to that too. So definitely check it out in terms of updates. And they came right before Christmas, so I was actually really excited. Oh yes, Christmas came early if you're a Ninja Turtles fan.
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's still the year of the turtle. I believe there was a turtle announcement for this year. Turtles. Oh wait, no, I don't think it's not for this year. They announced it last year, but turtles are finally in the dodgeball game.
Oh, they are. Oh,
Yeah, that dodgeball game that we talked about last year. The free to
oh
play
yeah.
one,
Oh
Dodgeball All
yeah.
Stars. No, that's not it. I don't know. I forget.
Yeah. I know what game you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. The one that EA put out.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, they definitely. So yeah, it's the year of the turtle. They definitely are doing big things. So I mean, hopefully we see updates coming for both these games. Maybe we'll see some DLC in the near future for Shredder's Revenge. Manhattan Project being online. That should be fun. I mean, these games just never get old. They're always a good time with your friends, even by yourself. They're just a good time.
yeah.
All right, so I saw that this was pretty cool. And you're a Game Boy. You own the original Game Boy.
Yep.
Um, how would you feel to have a Game Boy that could record your game capture?
A Game Boy. I think it's not something that I would want. Like, wait a minute. Like a Game Boy that records my PlayStation 5?
No, no,
Like,
no, no. Like what you're doing, like on screen, like a game capture that's like you plug in the game capture, you plug in the game you want to play, and then you plug it into your computer and it records like off of OBS or something like that.
wow, I guess that'd be fine.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is what the GB Interceptor is. It's pretty much a Game Boy capture cartridge, which is pretty cool. And I guess they're doing this for uh, I guess Tetris, like because I guess they didn't want to emulate it or whatever. I guess they were doing it for a competition, a Tetris enthusiast, and they needed help streaming the game, and I guess using a camera on your eyes or whatever is just kind of hard.
Yeah.
So I mean, they came up with this concept, and it looks like it's a project out there. It looks like it's being crowdfunded. Looks pretty cool. I would like to see more game capture devices for my handhelds. Not so much the Game Boy, but definitely like, and not even the analog pocket either, because that has a dock, so you can technically plug in the dock to your game capture. But something like for the original Game Boy, the Game Boy Advance, your Game Gear, that would be just awesome. Like, um, it's just like showing that technology is just advancing now that you can play your games on like a computer screen. And I think that's what I love most about like OBS is just capturing gameplay and just showing it to the world without having to like get a camcorder or like your phone or anything like that and record like
Yeah.
your TV. So I thought this was pretty cool. You got any thoughts on this?
No, I thought this is pretty cool too. Regardless if you capture the images or not, like, or what you're playing, the fact that you can play it like on a PC is pretty nice. Like I don't know. I think overall it's a little cool, pretty cool gizmo. And I think just like capturing like old games
Yeah, old
is
games.
yeah, is even like the best thing about it. And um yeah, it becomes increasingly more difficult with every generation. Now that we're kind of like a PC architecture, I mean,
Mhm.
I feel like it's relatively easy, but just like thinking back, like with Game Boy from to PlayStation to all the way up to PlayStation 3, and thinking about like the Nintendo, and like thinking about everything from after the Super Nintendo. Just thinking about the N64
Mhm.
all the way up to the GameCube and the Wii and the Wii U. Like all these consoles are they're all a pain in the ass to capture. And then if you think of like other consoles like the Virtual Boy,
Oh god.
um, and and how it was the other one I was gonna say. Oh, just like the Dreamcast and Saturn, and Jaguar and 3DO and
Yeah.
all these things. They're all just a pain in the ass to capture.
Yeah, you
So
gotta have like one of those old capture devices, like with the
yeah,
old three colors. What is it, analog or whatever? Yeah, just
yeah,
or you can just get a HDMI connection for some of them now. I mean, I
yeah.
know for
So
me, the Super NT that works great for me.
yeah, I think there's a better way.
Yeah,
And that's me on a daily basis. Like even at work, I'm just like, there's a better way. Like people like tell me to do things. I'm like, there has to be a better way. And people just look at me sideways. They're like, what? Just do what I asked you to do. I didn't ask if there's a better way. But we should be thinking if there's a better way. And I think this is a step to a better way to capture Game Boy games. So I love it.
yeah, I love it too. I mean, hopefully this thing is compatible with the Game Boy Advance. I would love to see, what it could do, and if I could play games in real time, getting game capture. I would definitely look for a GBA tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely. But I mean, it's definitely a step in the right direction, and hopefully we get more of these. So, I mean, great concept. I mean, I'm definitely going to keep a close eye on it, and just it's excellent. So, moving on. CES happened this week. CES. Do we ever
What's
keep
a
up with
what?
CES?
No, what's a CES?
CES, the computer something show. Let me see what it stands for.
Oh man,
CES.
you failed this quiz.
So CES. It is Consumer Electronics Show. Consumer. I failed. I failed. You got me. Yeah, we don't really keep up with it too much, but they had some pretty cool things coming out, like with gaming this year. I know one of the things that Sony announced was uh, besides the Gran Turismo movie, which sounds very interesting, by the way. They also had this car that they were working with Honda,
Mhm.
so that was pretty cool. They had Sony Project Leonardo. Project Leonardo is a controller kit that will work out of the box with a PS5, offering two circular game pads lined with swappable buttons. So,
Yeah, this was the coolest thing that came out of CES. Like it really was. Like
yeah,
and just in terms of gaming overall, like people have been asking like Sony, like when are they gonna do a Microsoft style accessibility controller? And
that's
just
cool. That's
yeah,
very good.
and there just no one's got an answer. But the fact they just been working on this for years in
Mm,
silence, and they've been working with a lot of different foundations to develop these controllers, and they've gone through, I think they said like 20 25 iterations of like different prototypes um that like they actually produced, and they ultimately settled on this one, which is like doesn't mean like this is the best one, but it's not the worst one. But this is the best out of all of them. And it may still not suit everyone's needs, but it still suits like the majority, which I find interesting. And yeah, I just think these controllers are epic. I'm curious to how much they're gonna cost.
yeah,
I feel like because they're fully customizable. So
yeah. They look like it, so I mean that's
yeah,
good. I mean, Microsoft's done it. Sony's doing it now. Well, Nintendo, where are you at? But just
Nintendo is gonna come out with one like in 20 years.
yeah,
They
they
don't even
just
have
do it.
accessibility options in their games. So like,
Yeah,
why would they have it like a controller that can support it?
yeah. Speaking of controllers, there's the Dell's Concept Nyx controller. I think I said it right. The
Yeah, the next
Alienware.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a little. I mean, I'm looking at a photo of it right now, and where's the D-pad?
it's right there.
Where's the D-pad?
It's right there. What do you mean? It's kind of like reminds me of Steam's first controller that
Yeah.
um they people keep on trying to reinvent the D-pad, and
No, no, don't,
N none of them,
don't.
none of them work. Not one of them
No.
has been successful.
Yeah.
Maybe
So.
this will be the first. I doubt it, but I
Yeah.
mean, let's not be skeptics.
Yeah.
Let's not be pessimistic. Let's be opportunistic and celebrate that someone else is trying to create another D-pad, and maybe this is the D-pad of the future. I'd like to believe it,
Yeah.
but I doubt it.
All right, and then another controller. Xbox put out a controller with a screen, from my understanding. I think we shared it on the Discord. So
Oh,
yeah, a lot
did
of
we?
I think
Okay.
so. Yeah, so a lot of controllers going around this year at the CES, and then Razer's new gaming handheld is available for pre-order. Razer's Edge, a convertible gaming tablet. So that's
Mhm, mhm.
that looks pretty cool. So I mean, I would do it. It's just I don't know, man. Me and mobile gaming, it's like I want to embrace it, but I don't know, man. It's just like I have enough stuff around. I mean, what are your thoughts on mobile gaming in general? I mean, do you want to go to the next level with it, or are you just like play your Marvel Snap and just move on?
You know what? I think in terms of mobile gaming, like right now, since I don't have like a Razer Edge, or I don't have a Backbone, or I don't have one of
Razor
these
Kishi or whatever.
yeah, Kishi, like that basically turns my phone into a gaming device, that turns my phone into like a shitty Steam Deck, or or a Nintendo Switch or whatever. Like mobile gaming is something that I need to do with one hand. Like if I don't have a proper controller, if I'm not able to stream or like
Yeah,
connect a proper controller to my phone, it's kind of useless.
yeah. Button
But
overlays. Yeah,
yeah,
I hate them.
yeah,
Hate them.
I do them on I do them on planes,
Mm,
just because I don't have like I said, I don't have proper controls. But yeah, mobile gaming I think is, I mean, it's really popular. I mean, Apple does gangbangers of mobile gaming. They don't release their numbers, but they do gang bangers in terms of mobile gaming. And then that's the reason why, Nintendo and PlayStation potentially are getting into mobile gaming. Even Xbox bought some companies last year that
Yeah,
specialize in mobile gaming. So we are definitely going to get more mobile games. I think mobile gaming is not going anywhere. I think it's such a big part of the industry. But it's not my preference on where I want a game. I rather
yeah,
like if you're like, oh, like you have a 5 hour time, like where you're in a flight or when you're on a train or you're just traveling, whatever, and you're like, here goes a phone with unlimited battery life. And here goes a Kishi controller or whatever. Um, do whatever you want.
mm.
It I would probably watch a movie. I probably I probably would not game on it. Um, and then if I did game on it, like it would be like something super simple. It'd be like a Marvel Snap or something like that. I'm not gonna play like a 80-hour RPG on my phone. It hurts
No.
my neck, hurts my hands.
Well, that's what
I'm
neck pillows are
old and
for, but
tired.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I mean, I have a Switch, so that's just enough said in terms of handheld gaming in general, and then mobile, it's just if I'm playing a game on my mobile device, it's gonna be like, like Monopoly or something, just something simple, just
Yeah.
nothing too crazy. All right, but CES, definitely check out the reviews. A lot of neat stuff, even outside of gaming, were announced there. So
Last thing real
yeah,
quick, I do want a
uh-huh.
Steam Deck. I really want a Steam Deck. Just but we're gonna get into that in a second, so I will leave it at that. Yeah.
All right, yeah. I mean, yeah, Steam Deck. I mean, awesome. All right, so getting into our main topics this week, predictions for 2023. So let's start with the Sony PS5, PS4. Are we getting a PS5 Slim or Pro? Will expansion drives be made cheaper? Are we ready for what first party game Sony puts out? The Gran Turismo movie. I know for me, my PS5, I think I told you this, I upgraded the hard drive. I
Nice.
somehow got the plates off. I did not scratch it. Nothing broke. I was able to put it back on. I heard it click. It's doable, people. Just don't pull it off. All right. I mean, it can be, you can mess it up if you're not careful, but it's not. They could have made it easier, but it's not as hard as some people were making it out to be.
So a couple things. So one, I never heard it was hard, except from
Hmm.
you right now. But more importantly, I did not know you expanded it. So you got a 1 terabyte?
Yeah, I got a 1 terabyte.
Okay. Okay. Nice. How
So
much
yeah.
if you don't mind telling
I
everyone?
just got the Western Digital, and then it was on sale at Amazon for about 120. They
Okay, so
go up and down.
no
So
heat
yeah.
sink.
Yeah, yeah, it has a heat
Oh,
sink.
okay, it
Actually,
does.
I forgot. Maybe it was 150 or 140. It was somewhere around there. But yeah, it came with a heat sink. So
Why didn't you I'm curious. Why didn't you get the 2 terabyte for 180?
180. It was the sales, man. I mean, I was going back and forth like looking for them, and then yeah, I mean, I found out about it later. And it was just like,
Okay. It's too late.
it's kind
Okay.
of too late. So, but yeah, 1 terabyte. I think that's really all I need. I mean, I have 200 plus left on my regular hard drive, and then the 1 terabyte. That's just. I'm hoping that's enough. I hope.
I mean, how many terabytes do you have on your PlayStation 4?
On my PS4, I did the 2 terabyte expansion, and then everything's on my portable expansion, the 4 terabyte one now. So
So you got 6 terabytes for your PS4
yeah, I didn't even.
and you never filled it up?
No, I never. I filled up the two.
Okay, you filled up
I
the 2.
yeah, I did fill up the two, and then that's when I went with the expansion drive for that. So
Okay.
hopefully by the time, hopefully they do have expansion drives that work. If worst comes to worst, I could always just store the game on the expansion drive and just go back and forth with some games or just uninstall whatever I'm not playing if worst comes to worst.
Mhm.
So, I
For
mean,
for my PlayStation 4, I filled up the 4 terabytes. so I had to delete.
Oh
I had to
wow.
delete it. But you had 6 terabytes, so that's different.
Yeah,
That's a whole different realm. If
yeah.
I had
So
6,
too.
I don't know if I would have filled it up by now. Um, yeah. So
Because remember I replaced my original 500 with a 2 terabyte.
okay.
So yeah, that's so. If I ever do sell my PS4, whoever gets it, you're gonna get 2 terabytes in that thing. So sweet deal if you ask me. Sweet
Yeah, sell it to me. If you ever sell it, sell it to me.
if I
Don't
ever sell it. No.
sorry,
I'm not gonna.
audience. I'm calling dibs right off the bat. I know him and I've been to his house. You guys can't have it.
He's right.
Yeah. I got first dibs right here. Sell it to me. I am gonna get another PlayStation 4. So
You
just
are okay.
yeah. But I the one I get is I don't
Are you
know.
getting the Pro or the Slim?
I am getting for the PlayStation 4,
Yeah.
I'm getting I will just get a slim. I'll
Okay.
just get a slim. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's talk about the PS5. Any predictions with the console this year?
Yeah, I mean, where do you want to start? You already kind of touched on a little bit of it,
Um. Well,
in when you're talking or introducing it.
yeah, all right. So I guess let's talk about the. Are they going to come out with a Slim or a Pro this year for the PS5? What do you think?
I mean, what's a pro and
Yeah. What is a
what's a
PS5?
slim?
Slim
So
would
they're
be something smaller, I would hope.
yeah. So they're it's so tough. Okay. So first off, I would say this is what you're seeing on screen right now is you're seeing a PlayStation 5 connected with a external disk drive. This is the rumor that's going around. This is the most prevalent rumor that everyone's talking about and they're just like, "Hey, this is the next PlayStation. PlayStation's going to ship a PlayStation Digital with a external disk drive that you can purchase. They're doing this to speed up manufacturing, to make the console cheaper overall. So, which just confuses me because I'm like, well, if it's a PlayStation Digital, it's only $50 cheaper. And then and then you'll be able to purchase the disc drive add-on later. And what I'm hearing is like from all the rumors and articles and blah 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 that they're gonna discontinue the PlayStation 5 with the disc drive, which is very confusing because they primarily make the PlayStation 5 with the disc drives, and digitals are very hard to find. They're
Yeah, I've
almost
not seen
impossible.
any. I
Yeah,
have not seen any of them in a
almost
store.
impossible to find. So, um, it's crazy to think that they would well, a couple things. I think the reason why they mass produce the PlayStation 5s with the disk drive is because they actually make a little bit more on
Mm,
the ones with the disk drive. Not much, maybe like 10 cents, maybe like $1. Like it's not much, but I think they make more with the disk drives versus the ones without. Is one aspect to that. But regardless, like even if they are saving money, if they're selling an expandable disk drive, I can only imagine. I don't think it's gonna be $39 or $49. Like if they took $50 off, like you're basically selling a PlayStation Digital with an expandable disk drive. So it should be equivalent to the price of the console with the disk drive, unless you sell the disk drive at a higher cost, which it could be. So they could be
maybe.
making money off the disk drive and then selling the console for cost, which is it's all very confusing to me. And I'm just like, no, no, don't do any of this. This is all bad. Sell a PlayStation Small. Like don't sell a PlayStation Slim. We don't need it slimmer. We don't want the disk drive taken out, or if you do take out the disk drive, that's fine. But sell a PlayStation 5 small. Like just make
Not
it
slim, but
smaller,
small.
more compact, You can make it thinner too. That's fine, but just make it.
Like what the PS5 did. No, not the like the PS3 did when they went with the slim. Well, they made it
I
smaller.
I think the PS2 is a better example. When you look at the PS2 and you think of the PlayStation 2 Slim, that is the best example because that thing was tiny.
It
The
was.
PlayStation 2 Slim was so tiny. Do that again with the PlayStation 5.
And it did everything the
Um,
PS2
yeah.
did, pretty much. I mean, I mean, it was a smaller, but I mean, I know for me, do I think they'll do a pro? I mean, I don't see what it would be pro about it if they were to put out a pro. Quite frankly, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like not a lot of people have 4K TVs, so
8K.
eight
8K. The PlayStation
8K.
5 the PlayStation 5 supposedly supports 8K and nothing supports 8K except at CES there was a monitor that was just announced that is going to do 8K.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I can't. Yeah, so it's like I know for me, it's just not worth it. I mean, I have a 1440p monitor that I use for my PS5, so I mean, but I mean, it's not 4K. I mean, I have a 4K TV, but I game on monitors. I don't game on TVs anymore. So, yeah, I'm not going to connect it to that.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I mean, it would be nice. And then in terms also with Sony, I mean, the games, Spider Man, are you ready?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a little upset like that that I don't have a PlayStation 5. I'm a little upset just cuz like yeah, Spider-Man's coming
Day
out
one
this
pickup for
year.
me, and hopefully by the
Um
time it comes out, you have one.
yeah,
Because I
what's it
don't think
called?
it's coming to the PS4. Quite to tell you the truth, I
No,
mean,
it's not. It's not. Horizon DLC is
not coming.
exclusive for PS5. So that is devastating. Devastating. I'm just like, "Oh god."
You could
Um
trade in your Series X.
look it. Honestly, if PlayStation came out with a PlayStation 5 this year and they're like, "Hey, exact same PlayStation 5, but you get a terabyte of storage for the same price." I'd go pick one up. That that's all it would take at this point because the games are there. The games are not there with Xbox.
Yeah, the
It's
games are
just
there. I mean, it took a
yeah,
little minute. It took a minute for Sony to catch up, but
yeah,
well, not catch up to get out of the gate. But the games are there. The
yeah,
games are there. So
yeah. So we've had basically what 2 years, 2 years of PlayStation
yeah,
games,
about 2 years.
and they've been releasing bangers, and yeah, I just
Not so much with Xbox. I mean, I hate to
no.
call it where I see it, but I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah. So I would be down to if they were like, "Hey, PlayStation 5, here goes a 1 terabyte of storage. Same price. Sign me up. I'm there. I will buy it tomorrow. I will take no hesitation whatsoever. I'd like them to come out with some more faceplates or at least a one with
Yeah,
like a special
I'm thinking
faceplate.
about it. I'm thinking about it now. Definitely be getting some faceplates.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
was looking at the faceplates yesterday, and they were horrible. I was like, "Ah, god." Not
Yeah.
horrible, but that's too strong of words, but they weren't none of the faceplates grabbed me, like I feel like they should, and I don't think Sony's making a ton of money off of them, to be
All
honest.
right. All right, F. So I think we're done with Sony. How much time do you have left? Do you think we have
Don't
time to do all three of these, or do you want us to
yeah,
save it for
don't
next week?
I know I told you I only have a little bit of time left, but don't worry about me right now. I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. Just let me know. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Xbox Series X and S, the console you love to hate. Well, I guess the first thing, I'll do before we even get into the lack of games that they have. We've been hearing a lot of stories about this Microsoft Blizzard deal. Will it go through? Will it won't go through? The FTC challenging it, all
Mhm.
this stuff. I'll just say this first. I didn't think it was going to have that much hurdles, but it looks
I
like
didn't think it was yeah.
yeah. I think we both agree there. It's like, wow, this is actually a lot of people are challenging this. Does this deal go through this year, or does it get blocked? Do you think it'll eventually go through? I think it's gonna take a little longer than people anticipated, and then even gamers were suing that they don't want this to happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
do I want
I
this to happen? Yeah. What were you saying?
I just don't. I think it's gonna happen. I just don't see any real impact from it for a very, very, very long time. I think it goes through. I think it goes through at the end of this year. I think it'll be official like in 2024.
Hmm.
Um
Yeah.
and essentially I don't think that we'll see any impact from it really, other than like the game. Like I think they're already setting up for it to go through. So I think that's like kind of like the weird part. Like you're putting the horse before the cart, or the cart before the horse. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Um and so like if it didn't go through, I think they'd be screwed. I think they would have to undo a lot of what they did. But I think there'd be like a silent merger.
Yeah.
Like I think like they'd be like, "Oh shit, like it didn't go through, so we gotta like let's create some contracts between us."
Yeah.
Um
Well, I mean, they're speaking of contracts. I mean, they've been offering Sony all these contracts. I mean, the white elephant in the room, Call of Duty.
yeah, it's all about Call of Duty. Like
Yeah,
they don't care about anything
yeah,
else.
Call of Duty.
Sony doesn't care about anything else that they have.
No,
They just
absolutely
care.
not.
They don't care about Diablo. They don't care about anything else. They just
Minecraft, they don't care about that.
no,
Like,
no. They're just worried about Call of Duty.
mm,
So I would say yeah, like I would say Sony's gonna get some type of exclusive deal. Sony's done everything that they're supposed to.
uh,
They've delayed it. They've brought it to light for every regulator out there in the whole world to scrutinize. They brought it to
yeah,
fans to scrutinize. They're like, hey, are you gonna regulate
they
Call of
did more
Duty?
than they did more than I thought they were gonna do. Quite frankly,
Yeah, same here.
but yeah, they ain't sitting back and being silent on this thing. But I mean, they offered Nintendo a 10-year deal too. And it's just
Yeah.
like-
Yeah, before the deal has even gone through. But that's so much that's so regulators can be like, okay, we understand what you're doing. We see what you're doing. Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
It's on Sony, it's on Nintendo. Yeah, we'll go ahead and approve this. But I mean, it's a win-win for Sony. If Sony blocks this, Call of
oh,
Duty stays on their console. All those
you
deals
know
and
they want to block
contracts,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
stay for Sony. In the same respect, like if they don't block it, Microsoft is still gonna have to offer them, just because of regulators. They're gonna have to offer them a sweet deal, and the fact that they already offer 10 years, regulators could be like, well,
that's
"Yeah,
not
we saw,
enough. That's
yeah, we saw that 10-year deal. In order for us to approve this and be like, this is okay, we're gonna say a 20-year deal." Regulators could be that, and Microsoft could be either
yeah,
like yay or nay. If they say no, they're not going to do it, then the deal's squashed. If they say they're going to do it, then Sony has Call of Duty for 20 years, like whatever that number looks like, but it'll be over whatever Microsoft offered, and Microsoft has offered 10 years, so absolutely insanity. Um, yeah, Sony's playing the Sony's playing hardball, and I don't blame them. And they're in a console war. This is literally a console war, and it's more public than it's ever been. And
yeah,
I honestly I'm enjoying watching every second of it.
yeah. It's more entertaining than I thought it would be. I mean, we'll see what happens if this deal does go through. I mean, Sony's gonna do everything in their power to block this thing. I didn't think they were going to. It seems like Nintendo's just sitting back and not doing a damn thing with it. But
Hmm.
yeah, but yeah, it's good entertainment. Let me tell you. But now that we talked about that, I mean, I had to get that. We had to talk about that. Any more delays to Redfall and Starfield, and hopefully, I don't think the new Forza game that they're coming out with this year will be delayed. I hope it isn't. I mean, that's a pretty good studio that they
Yeah,
use for Forza, so usually they're usually on point. But Starfield and Redfall, two games from last year that was looking like it's going on a year now that they're going to be delayed. So
they said it was coming out the first half of this year. I think at least one of those games is coming out this first half. And I would probably say it's going to be Starfield, at least. That's coming out
Starfield,
the first half. I think I think due to the critical reception of Redfall, like Redfall got like they showed it, people were like, "Oh, that's what it is. Cool." Um
I mean, it wasn't turning my head. Let me tell you.
yeah, so I could very much see that getting delayed so it could so it can they can improve the graphics, so they can tighten up the combat, so they can add to the game if needed or if able. So I could see Redfall actually coming out and being delayed to after Starfield. Starfield is coming out.
Mm,
Starfield is their big game. Starfield is they are now a first part. Bethesda is a first party Microsoft game, and there's pressure there. And they've
yeah.
talked about this. So with that pressure comes responsibility, and the responsibility ultimately falls on Phil Spencer and Xbox. And I think they're going to do
Oh
everything
Lord.
that they can to make sure that they meet those expectations. And if they have to delay the game again, I can definitely see it happening. But I don't think they're at that point. I think they're really just bug fixes, tightening up, making sure everything is good to go on ship date, so people have a amazing game to play. And from what I I hear the game is awesome. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right. Well, hopefully you keep your Xbox Series X a little longer so you can play that. I mean, me personally, I'd if those games do come out, I mean, I'd be playing it on the Xbox One. I'm not sure if they're still coming out for Xbox One. Maybe that's why they were delayed. I don't know. Um, and then in terms of like any game announcements that you're looking forward to, I mean, I know we got Forza coming later this year. You think they're going to announce anything new on the Xbox side of things?
Um, well, no, not really. I mean,
Mm,
I'm sure we'll get maybe one or two announcements towards the end of the year, or not towards the end of the year, but 4 games for the end of the year.
yeah,
But as regard as announcements, no, I don't think we are gonna get Perfect Dark.
no.
Um, I think the one announcement that we maybe could get that maybe Xbox is like, hey, it'll come out at the end of the year. I think could be Fable, because Fable has been in development hell for the last 8 years. So like, they were thinking about making a tactical Fable, and it didn't work out, and they've been very much back and forth on Fable. So I think that could be the one game that happens. Indiana Jones is going to be on PlayStation and Xbox, so I'm not too worried about that. Um, yeah, I don't know what Xbox could announce. I guess they could announce a Gears of War, but just another
Mhm.
game that I think that they're gonna have
Yeah.
to take their time with. So I honestly don't see Gears of War coming out. I can see an announcement this year, but I don't see it coming out this year whatsoever. So
And then, yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna have any big announcements either. I mean, in my opinion, just Forza and then Starfield and Redfall. Just the two games that were supposed to come out last year. So I mean, we'll see what happens there in terms of any new announcements, and then any improvements to Game Pass. And when do we see GoldenEye on Game Pass?
oh gosh. Let's see. So I think GoldenEye's coming out this year
Yeah, it should
for
be.
for Game Pass. The only thing is I don't think there are gonna be any improvements. I think we're gonna see a price increase. So be ready for that. I
Mhm.
think Game Pass is gonna go up to about $18. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, or get at least
So
Game Pass
so
Ultimate.
yeah, no yearly deal, just still month to month that they're doing right now.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be month to month. I think it's gonna be $18, and I don't think there's gonna be a yearly deal.
Mm,
So sorry for
yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
It's not guaranteed, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're gonna see.
yeah.
Other
I
than that,
yeah,
yeah, what's
yeah,
up?
yeah. I also do agree with you. I think we will see a price increase at some point with Game Pass.
Yeah.
GoldenEye is coming. I don't know when. Hopefully, it comes at the same time for the Switch and Xbox. Switch we'll be talking about next. But anything else on Xbox before we move on to Nintendo?
Um, that's it. I just I when thinking about Xbox and their last press conference, whatever it was, Xbox,
Mm,
Bethesda showcase, they said they they had that chart. They had a chart that showed all the games that are coming out in the next 12 months. Only a small fraction, I would say like one third of those games actually came out thus far. So I'm just really curious to see what the next 6 months are going to bring because I don't think all those games are going to make it. I don't. I just really don't. Uh, so I'm just scared for Xbox. I don't know what they're
yeah.
doing, but they're not hurting for money.
No, absolutely not. I
Xboxes
mean,
are
it's
selling out.
Microsoft. It's,
Yeah, Xboxes are selling out, and Game Pass is doing great. And Game Pass is still was above was somewhere between 20 and 25 million on the last checkup. So
yeah.
they're doing incredible.
Yeah, so Microsoft. I mean, they're never run out of money. I mean, this is like a side gig for them, but I mean, they're making it. They've made a big dive the 20 years they've been in the business. So I mean, they've done a lot better than what I thought they were going to do when I was a junior in high school. Whenever they came out with the Xbox, but I mean, definitely big ups to them. I mean, they've definitely earned my respect as a player in the game, if you know what I mean. All right. Moving on to Nintendo, the company everyone loves to hate, or the
Mhm.
company everyone hates to love, as I like to call them. So, looks like I guess we're gonna start with the hardware, and we heard about this report. I guess there was a Switch Pro plan, but it didn't see the light of day. It was originally supposed to be the OLED, but I guess they just went with the OLED and not a more powerful Switch. According to Digital Foundry, they were just very afraid that it was with their next console, with the Wii U doing great and then falling on flat on their face with the Wii U. They don't want to see a repeat of that. Do you think Nintendo was in the right to do this, or do you think they should have just made the more powerful Switch and just try to ride it as long as they can?
Well, I think there's some contradicting arguments right there.
Mm,
Like when I reading this article, like in just reading that, I was like, okay, I get it, yeah, totally get that, yeah. No, the contradicting parts of it were, yes, I believe like Nintendo, they were planning a more powerful console. I think yes, they ultimately decided to do an OLED. Um, I don't believe the reasoning is factual. I
okay, that's fair.
and that's the part that part of the article that I really was like, nah, I don't believe that for a hot second. And we talked about this on a ton of previous episodes.
Yeah.
None that I can call out, but I would say the reason why Nintendo hasn't released hardware, and yes, I do think they're fearful. I'm
I
that
do
is
agree. I agree with you there. They are fearful.
But the reason why they did not release any hardware, which the article actually talks about too, is
Mhm.
that they're still selling
The
consoles
Switch.
like they're still selling Switches like fucking hotcakes. Like they sell Switches year over year
Yeah, you go
at
to the
a
store
at a significant profit.
they're
Even
still
with the
making the
OLED,
money.
yeah, the OLED did boost sales. It didn't boost sales like I'm sure they were hoping for, but it did boost sales. And yeah, the Switch is just it sells. And it's been selling. And even though it's outdated, it's almost like two generations
Ago.
behind at this point. It's still selling. People are still buying these damn and I'm like, who does not have a Switch that wanted one? Who is buying a Switch that who's buying all these Switches? It's not scalpers. It
No,
must be
absolutely
people
not.
because they're seeing an Xbox, they're seeing a PlayStation, they're seeing a Switch. They see the Xbox for $500. They see the PlayStation for $550. And then they see the Switch and they see the Switch for
350 if you
would
want an OLED.
yeah, 350 if you want an OLED. God dang, like people are still buying this console. People are going into these
I'm
markets,
I'm
and they're
thinking about
not.
getting the OLED, but I haven't made up my mind yet.
Yeah, I mean, damn,
I'm
like
thinking about it. I'm
I've
thinking,
been talking about buying a Switch for the last 3 years because I thought a better one would come out by now.
and it's not
It
coming.
hasn't. It
It's
hasn't
not coming
happened.
next. I don't think it's coming next year either. So that's
Yeah,
we're going at least 7 years.
I
Yeah,
think
they're
I
going. Yeah,
generally consoles are decided by they're decided by the consumer.
yeah,
When consumers stop buying consoles, the developer looks at that as a hint, and they're like, "Hey, people are not buying this console anymore. We need to revitalize the market. We need to introduce something new or something better or something more beautiful, and or maybe something that encompasses all those things." Um, which Nintendo has done. They released a
yeah,
better a Switch 2.0 that had a better processor. Then they released the OLED, which had a better screen. So they keep on revitalizing the market. Um, I think sales. I think we're going to see a dip in sales again this year. I
mhm,
don't think they're going to introduce anything this year, but next year, I think it's going to be a demand of the developers.
yeah.
So that's a one other way that we get new consoles. Developers
Demand it.
demand
Yeah.
better hardware so they can develop on. That's going to be more in line with the rest of the market. The Switch cannot be 3 generations behind. It just can't.
I mean, it's
Because
crazy that hate to interrupt. It's crazy
oh
that
no, you're
like
fine.
the Hogwarts game. That it's crazy that they're making a Switch version for it. It's just like,
It's gonna be trash. It's gonna be trash. Fucking, I guarantee it. I guarantee it's gonna be trash. So Hogwarts, Hogwarts is. I mean, look it. There's been a lot of games for Nintendo Switch that have been available on PlayStation, Xbox. They're either cloud based and they suck, or they're too big of games for the Switch and they suck. If it's not a Nintendo immediate or developed game for the most part, it usually sucks. Kirby pulled off some great things. Zelda pulls off some great things. Blah blah blah. But then we look at games like Pokemon, and
oh Lord.
Pokemon was complete trash. And then you even look at like simpler games. You look
Yeah,
at games like Dead Cells for the Switch or Hades for the Switch, and
they're okay. I mean, I have them both on Switch, but
they're n-
it,
they're not horrible, but they're
mm,
not great.
they're
And
not
that's the
great,
thing.
but they're okay.
Why aren't they great? They're not graphically intensive games. They're
Mm,
not large games. They're they're pretty basic games overall. But the Switch cannot even run them. So why can't the Switch run these like really like relatively basic games that are relatively small? Like, what's the reasoning? Because it's not developed specifically for the Switch? Is that the only reason? Well, then the if that's the case, then if the Switch continues to fall further behind, developers are not going to design for it
mm,
because their games are going to run like shit. And then people are going to not blame Switch, they're going to blame the developer. So I can very much so like developers are going to start demanding from Nintendo better hardware in order to develop games for that system. And I could that'll happen by next year. I'm sure it's already been happening, but it'll
yeah,
happen. I guarantee we'll see a Switch iteration by next year, another iteration of the Switch. I don't know if it's going to be a Switch Pro, but it'll be something to that ilk.
yeah. I mean, it's safe to say I don't think anything hardware related is coming this year for the Switch. I mean, the
I
only
don't
thing
think
I've
so.
heard is Tears of the Kingdom, the Legend of Zelda, Legend of Zelda console special edition, maybe, but that's just a skin pretty much. So I mean, I really don't think we're getting maybe next year, maybe late next year or 2 years from now. But one thing I do want to talk about what they're doing outside of the video game world is Super Nintendo World opening at Universal Studios Hollywood. I'm excited about that. Don't you want to go ride the Mario Kart ride and see the Mushroom Kingdom?
I do. I really do. I can't wait. The only my only issue is like they call it Super Nintendo World and then they only have Mario stuff. But
think they're getting some more. Don't be
I know. They're actually already working on Donkey Kong World in
Donkey
Japan.
Kong, and then
Yeah,
hopefully we see Legend of Zelda, Kirby. I think everything else is gonna come in slowly but surely.
yeah.
Just give them some
So,
time. Just
oh yeah, I'm not in a hurry. I'm not going anytime soon.
okay.
I'm not as young as I used to be. I kind of hate theme parks now. So
We used to love them back in the day, man.
yeah, now they're expensive and I have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I do love it, and I can't wait to see what they come up with next.
Yeah, yeah. When your little ones are big enough, definitely take them over there. Well, I think your oldest one's almost there, but yeah, I know you just had a
Yeah,
newborn, so you have to wait a little bit on him. But
yeah,
I
probably
mean,
like 10 and 7 is when we'll
yeah,
go. Yeah,
10 and 7. Well,
yeah.
wow, you're waiting a long time.
No,
All
I'm
right.
not. I'm waiting perfect. Look at honestly, like they're not gonna know the difference. They're not gonna know what that's like. You take them early. Like I take people take their 1 year olds to like Disneyland and stuff like that, and that's okay because they get in for free. But
Yeah,
like it's still a pain in the ass to take your 1 year old. Like why take a 1 year old? It just does not make any sense to me. Unless you're going for yourself, which most of them are, or they're
yeah.
going for the gram and stuff like that. Like just for me, like if my kids are gonna go, like I want to make sure they appreciate it and they're at an age that they can appreciate it. And I feel like they can at that age. So my
Mhm.
7 year like they're 3 years apart. So yeah, at that age, that'll be good. But I'm not gonna take them at 4 years old because they don't appreciate it. I'm not gonna take them at even 7 is early, and I'm like, God, I know you're not gonna appreciate this very much, but I know your brother will. So okay, that's sorry. That's my kid talk. So yeah,
Yeah. All right, and then yeah, yeah, that's funny. And then just besides Universal Studios, Super Nintendo World, the Super Mario Brothers movie. I know you're excited about that. I know you'll take
no,
your kids to that.
can't wait, can't
Yeah,
wait.
can't wait for
Yeah.
it. Okay, yeah, yeah. I figured that. Even my wife doesn't want to go. I'm definitely gonna. I'm going to that. I hardly ever go to the film by myself, but I will. That's a movie I'll go see by myself if my wife can't go with me or my daughter can't go with me for any reason. So I'm excited about that one.
Yeah.
And then I guess the big game they got coming out this year, Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Do you think it will make a lot of noise like Breath of the Wild? I mean, we've hardly seen anything
Oh,
for
I
the
think it's
game.
yeah, I think it's gonna outsell Breath of the Wild. I think it's gonna be I mean, how many switches? We're almost at 100 million switches. We might have hit that number. Maybe we just
Yeah,
didn't get numbers.
I think we already passed 100
Oh, we
million.
already passed 100
It
million.
already passed the Wii, so
Okay.
yeah, so it should be Nintendo's highest selling console. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. You think it's gonna sell
But
a lot
I
of
don't.
copies?
I think the PlayStation 2, I believe, was 150. So I believe it was under that. So let's say it's at the Switch is at 130 million units. Yeah, I think if they release Breath of the Wild 2, I think it's going to be 40 million units, for sure. Um, so I think
Or-
it's going to be highly successful. Oh, what are those numbers? What are
All
we
right,
looking
yeah,
at?
I got them. Right now they're at 114, and that was as of November.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm sure they've sold more since then. I mean, I think it hits 120 this year. I mean, we'll see.
6 million? Yeah, 6 million. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, at the rate they're selling, I mean, I'm tempted to go out and get an OLED, and I don't even game in handheld mode like that. So I
Yeah.
mean, and that's but it's worth it. Like I've seen the difference, like especially like when I'm at Target and going through the kiosk, it's kind of night and day. If you,
Yeah.
it really is worth it if you do gaming handheld mode. I didn't think it was at first, but it's like it's kind of a big deal. And maybe if
Well,
I traveled more and used it in handheld more, I probably would upgrade it. But
and that's the thing that kind of like leads into a great segue into more predictions before we go into
uh,
the release rundown. The Steam
yeah,
Deck. The Steam Deck
Steam.
has changed fucking gaming. Like the Steam Deck is such a wonderful handheld console. Um do I think they're going to come out with a number 2? I don't think I think it'll be announced next year. and I think it'll come out in 2025. Um,
2025. Okay.
but I think I I think the the Steam Deck is with if that had a better screen and it
Yeah,
had a
I'm not
better
a fan of the split
battery
screen.
life,
That
like
too.
that thing would be even beyond killer. But even despite that, just the fact that it can play everything, that it's solely customizable. I want a Steam Deck right now. That's a gaming that's a handheld I would play right now, no qualms.
No questions
And
asked.
yeah, and
I,
I'm happy to
it's
play.
it's
I'm happy
changed.
to
It's
pay
changed.
$700. Yeah.
It's changed a lot in gaming.
Mhm.
I really think it has, and I mean it's a good piece of hardware. Don't game in handheld mode that much, but I I I would trade some stuff in for it if I could. I mean, yeah, and I'm even thinking too, like I'm not getting a $400 one. If I do get it, I'm going either the second tier or the top tier if I were to get it, and
Yeah,
that's what you're thinking
absolutely.
too. Yeah,
Yep.
so I mean, yeah, so it's yeah, but I mean everything, even like the accessories that come with it, that case looks sick, and it's just it changed a lot. It changed a lot in gaming, I feel, especially for the handheld landscape. So, I mean, Nintendo, I mean, maybe they're trying to do something to revolutionize that. I mean, you don't know. I mean, at least with the Steam Deck, though, I mean, the battery life does suck. So, gotta gotta get a power bank with it. I mean, I have several of those laying around my
Yeah.
home.
Same
So,
thing with the Switch. So,
yeah,
yeah.
same thing with Switch too. So, yeah, gotta get a power bank with it if you're gonna be playing in handheld mode. Power banks aren't too much these days. You can get
No.
a good one for like $50. So it's like it's not much. So I mean, I would like to see, just any announcements that they do have, but they've been changing the game. Before we get to the release sundown, anything miscellaneous you think might get announced, like another Genesis Mini 3 or a Dreamcast Mini analog coming out with a new product, 8-bit though, another new controller, retro bit, another new controller to just I put some ideas out there. I couldn't think of all of them, but
Yeah, no, I mean, we've been talking about a lot of console hardware in terms of, like, predictions, like, was do you think I mean, are there any predictions that you think in terms of games that you can think
um,
of?
games. That's always a tough one for me. Um,
Or, like, developers? Like, is there any, like, predictions, like, you can think of, like, for any developers that you could, like, see coming out with any particular games?
um, maybe Capcom announces a new Mega Man game. Maybe I know we got the Battle Legacy Network collection coming out later this year, which I do
Mhm.
plan on picking up. I've never played any of those games, so I'm very excited to give them a try. Um, you know, Konami, maybe we get like a Metal Gear remaster or something like that in terms
Mhm.
of the like developers. I mean, I would like to see that. Nintendo, I keep hearing things on and off about a new Donkey Kong game. I would love to see like a new Donkey Kong Country game come to life. Sony, I'm not really seeing anything too much from Sony aside from Spider-Man, which is coming out later this year. So in terms of games, I mean, those are the ones I can think of at the top of my head. So, um, I mean, hopefully it's a good answer. How about you?
No, no, I mean, you're fine. Like, I mean, predictions are never easy.
Yeah,
That's why we predict them.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so I would say okay, so I would say either the biggest one, I think we'll get a Grand Theft Auto 6 announcement this
Oh,
year.
okay, yeah, definitely. I would love
Um,
to see that.
I don't think it's coming out this year.
I
I
mean,
don't
definitely any kind of announcement I think is a plus.
yeah.
We know they're working on it, so I mean, it's already
Oh,
been
yeah.
confirmed by that leak.
Yeah, the leak is there, so I think we'll definitely get a announcement for Grand Theft Auto 6. I think they still are thinking about like damage control. They're
Oh yeah,
like they're like, "Ah." like like last year was kind of a mess, like, and just yeah, and just it things did not go how we wanted them to go. So we'll go ahead and announce Grand Theft Auto 6, and we'll show a trailer. Um, Other than that, let's see. I think um I think Advance Wars will come out this year. I know that got delayed,
Yeah,
and that one's
I'm
for
looking
you.
forward to that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to see Advance Wars come. I mean, I'm always into that, battle strategy stuff. So, oh yeah, that was a big miss for me. But definitely some of the games that came out toward the end of the year made up for it. Call of Duty, Need for Speed Unbound, definitely. So, I mean, I'm good there. So,
Yeah, and I would say, like, if you're, like, waiting for Advance Wars, go play Front Mission. They had a Front Mission remake,
yeah, that's a good one.
this year. Like, if you're looking for, like, a great strategy game, which is it's a remake, so it's based on a very old strategy game, which, like, was kinda like it was great at the time, but may not be as great now, but knowing that and going into it, I think it'll be awesome. Um, other than
Another good strategy game, Wargroove. A lot, a lot
Wargroove,
of same,
yep.
yeah, a lot of the same mechanics that he used in Advanced Wars. So definitely check that one out. It's a little old. It's a little older now, but I mean, you can probably find it, GameStop for a relatively good price, either on PS4 or Switch. So
Mhm.
physical copy too, if you want a physical copy. So
Let's see, PlayStation VR is coming out this year. Let's see. I think and this one's said throughout the industry,
mhm.
but I'm everyone's hoping that PlayStation actually does it. So I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback off of everyone else. I think Half-Life Alex is gonna get announced for PlayStation VR.
Okay,
Yep. Um, and I guess I have one more. I think Mario Kart 9 will get announced this year.
I think those will go straight to 10.
You think it will straight to 10? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
whether it's 10 or 9, it doesn't matter. I would say a new Mario Kart um like sequel is going to get announced this year.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we got all that, I mean, yeah, I did put a lot of hardware stuff. I kind of did forget about the games, but we always talk about everything hardware, games. Talk about it all on the Game In Watch podcast. All right. So let's move on to the release rundown now. There were a lot of games. I did my best to try to condense this list because when I put the original list together, I saw some of these were repeat games, and then so anything like that was like a repeat game that I felt wasn't popular enough or just coming out for one single console, I just kind of skipped. But we'll go through this very quickly. So available now, since we're going back to November to do this,
Oh wow.
a lot actually did come out in December. So I'll do this real quick. You don't have any photos because I figured you didn't have time to do it, but it's all
Oh
good.
no, no, there's too many. So I just
Yeah,
said like
yeah, yeah,
fuck it. Yeah.
yeah. So, Soccer Story, all consoles and PC. The Night Witch, all consoles and PC. Front Mission First remake for the Switch. You got Gundam Evolution, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and looks like they already have a PC version out. So let's see. Warhammer 4000 Dark Tide is out for the PC. Eastward, Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One. Inscription, our guy Matt loves that game. Inscription comes to the Switch, so definitely check that out if that's your only console. New Joe and Mac Caveman Ninja, all consoles and PC. I guess it's a sequel to the last Caveman Ninja Joe and Mac series. So I was actually unaware that they made a new game. Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Chapter 2 Retribution. It's on the Quest and the PSVR. Looks like the PSVR is still putting games out, which is good. Marvel's Midnight Sun for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. You got Need for Speed Unbound. I recommend that one. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Resident Evil Village Winter Expansion, Switch. don't get it unless it's your only way to play and you really want to play it. Super Kiwi 64. This is a cute game. I was actually checking this out on the Switch online eShop. It's also on PC, but very cheap. Looks pretty cool. Homage to the polygon graphics that we got for the N64. So definitely check that out. It's literally only like $2-3, so I'm definitely gonna check it out when I get a chance. The Callisto Protocol. I've heard mixed reviews about this one. PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One and PC. You also got Divine Knockout. PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. Hello Neighbor 2, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. Sky, Children of the Light for the PS5 and PS4. Chained Echoes, all consoles and PC. That looks like a really good one, especially if you're a fan of those Final Fantasy games back in the day for the SNES and those 16-bit consoles there. But Chained Echoes, definitely check that one out. Yeah, all consoles and PC. Choo Choo Charles. That was a scary one when I was looking at that one. PC. Yeah. You see that photo? Yeah. Let's see. Dragon Quest Treasures for the Switch. Wavetale, all consoles and PC. Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion. That was a big one back in December. All consoles and PC. High on Life, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. Neon White made its way to the PS5 and PS4. Potion, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. Little Gator Game, Switch, and PC. The Witcher Wild Hunt and Complete Edition made its way to Xbox Series X and S and the PS5 and PC. Aka for the Switch and PC. Blacktail, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Melatonin for the PC and Switch. River City Girls 2. I was actually unaware this one came out, but all consoles and PC. That's one I definitely do got to check out. Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Switch. Once again, play it as a last resort. If you can play it on other hardware, please do so. Coffee Shop Tycoon for the PC. Potion Craft for the Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One. And Sports Story, which was a shadow drop that came to the Switch in late December. All right. Coming this week. Children of the Silent Town coming to all consoles and PC January 11th. Also January 11th, you got Cartwright Drift for the PC, iOS, and Android. January 12th, you got a pair of games, Lone Ruins for the Switch and PC, and then Vengeful Guardian Moonrider for the PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. And then you got Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which makes its way to upper generation of consoles, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S on January 13th. And the last game, One Piece Odyssey, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC.
Holy cow. That was a lot of freaking games.
Oh, that's what happens when you miss a month and a half worth of.
Yeah.
How did I do? Do I deserve the Medal of Honor for reading all those?
You deserve a pat on the back, and yeah, you did a good job.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
I appreciate it, man.
There you go.
Thank
There's
you.
the pat. No problem.
Yeah. So yeah, I know I said a lot of games. Any of these games that you want to highlight real quick before we sign off?
No, I not particularly. I think there's a lot of games here. I don't think a lot of them are amazing. I think a lot of them are going to be good or okay games. And that's no diss to developers, but I think they'll just be okay games. And I have not heard a lot of fanfare around any of the games that you named. So yeah, that's where I'll leave it.
Maybe that's why they come out in December.
Maybe.
All right. So I mean, I pretty much highlighted the ones that were that I thought were worth checking out or that I have in this list. But in terms of that is going to do it for episode 114, take 2 of the Game & Watch podcast. I'm Justin Reed, your boy, Too Tall for Youthful, or Simply Too Tall. Finest Dabs, the other half of the Game & Watch podcast, OVG, Our View Gaming. Thank you. Tune in next week for another show of the Game and Watch podcast. Just follow us on all our social media outlets, all that good stuff. Holler at us, check us out, and we will be back with you with some more content real soon. Later.
Bye, y'all.